Is there a client list or not? Let me give you a quick disclaimer. I don't care which side of the political fence you are on. This is not meant to be political. I definitely have my leanings. I'm sure that you have yours. So this has nothing to do with which party you favor. Back to the video. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly the style of cognitive misdirection that has been used nearly every time that this question has been asked about the Epstein list. Let me start with a basic question that looks as though it means one thing, but wordsmithing it enough gives you a little bit of a different answer.
A lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do.
For all intents and purposes, this sounds like there's a list. The word list was not used, the word file was used.
You said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk.
However, any self-respecting, discerning adult would think that she's alluding to a list because that is what was asked for. Now watch what happens next.
Have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information.
No one is asking them to release the names of the people that were injured or taken advantage of here. No one is asking for that. What we are asking for is a client list, specific names of people who are involved in this type of a disgusting pattern. Okay, this is where we get into what's happening here almost every time this question is brought up. This type of cognitive misdirection is called a red herring fallacy. Not to be confused with a straw man fallacy. A straw man fallacy is where you make an argument and then your opponent misrepresents your argument so it makes it easier to defeat your argument. That's a straw man. That's not what we're talking about. This is called a red herring argument, and it's created specifically to divert your attention and project your thought process into a completely different subject that either is barely related or not related at all to the question that you asked. One of the things you need to watch for whenever you are being misdirected is what's called circumlocution. Circumlocution is where someone adds lots of words, many phrases, and all kinds of explanations to something that doesn't require any of the above. When we are questioning, interviewing, or interrogating someone who may be a suspect, many times when they are guilty, they use circumlocution. Lots of words. They don't want any dead space. If you ask a question and then be quiet, they will fill it with words and phrases and descriptions, sometimes that have nothing to do with it, or sometimes just over-exaggerating details that aren't necessary.
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein.
This is classic cognitive misdirection. In this case, it's a red herring. Here's how you can check to see if this is happening to you. First of all, ask a specific pointed question. Make sure that there's not a lot of off-ramps on this question, a very specific question. If the person you are speaking to goes everywhere else besides the question, this is cognitive misdirection. This is classic deceit. This is not wanting to answer the question. So ask something specific. Pay attention. Is there circumlocution happening? In other words, are they filling up all the dead space with words and phrases that are unnecessary? Or are they diverting completely and going on to something that has either this much or nothing to do with what you asked them, thus throwing you off the point of your original question? Once you notice that you no longer have traction, but you have distraction, What you need to do is recognize that and tell them that. You can say something like, hey, I asked you a specific question and now we're over here. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm asking you to answer this question. And then see what they do.